What's up, and welcome to another episode of Starlight Beacon, where we review The Bad Batch. This is episode 9. What's going on, everybody? Ash, what's happening? Good to see you. Welcome. Daniel, what's happening also? This was a pretty interesting episode. I dug it. It was not the direction I was anticipating. I was expecting this chase, this Omega captivity, if you will, to last about another episode possibly. But no, they got right to it. And I'm not at all disappointed. I think in the end it's the right direction, because we know at the end of the day Omega is not going to be captured or killed in this series probably for a while. She'll probably make it out, so no need to prolong this. Still a really good episode, some really good revelations, a lot of good information that kind of fills in some of the mystery surrounding this time period, which is good. Like, that is for me one of the strengths of this show. It's just right now it's giving us so much information about what's happening with the Empire, and especially on the military side and the governing side, more so in the earlier episodes. But you know how the Republic transitions from the Republic to the Empire, and the clones, the Kaminoans. One interesting detail was definitely having an alternate location for the cloning facilities. This, to my knowledge, is the first time that we learn that the Kaminoans were not always on Kamino. They had other operations. And so we see that there's a shut down cloning facility on this planet, and I forget the name of the planet, but that's the rendezvous point for Cad Bane when he gets there on time with Omega, but Omega is able to trick Toto into letting her out so she can fix his leg, which she does, but then shuts him down, and then that buys her enough time to get the communicator, get a message out to the Bad Batch, and then the rest of the episode happens. Ducky, what's going on? Good to see you. And we do learn that Fennec Shand is under the employment of is it Lama Su? No, Lama Su is the prime minister. Namaste. No, it's not Namaste. That's thank you or something. Anyways, basically, gosh, what is her name? It's not Lama. It's Nalase. I don't know why I want to say Namaste. But it's not. It's so Nalase she's hired Fennec Shand to say yes, Nalase. I don't know why I blank on that every single time, because it's too close to Namaste, and that's what I want to say. But yes, Nalase. Yeah, she is the nice one. She is the one that's on the Bad Batch side, but she's the one that hired Fennec, and that's probably the reason why Fennec took such a gentler approach when she was talking to Omega in, what was that, episode 3, episode 2, or maybe it was episode 2. Whenever Fennec Shand first appeared, I think that was episode 2. I would say that's the reason why she was so nice and so approachable, because Nala Se was giving her the direction to, she's much more caring for Omega, and I think that came across. And then we see it again here at the end of the episode when it's revealed that she is being employed by Nala Se. But we got some division in the ranks amongst the Kaminoans. That's been confirmed. We do also learn what Omega's secret is, and that is she is a pure genetic replica of Jango Fett, just like Boba Fett is. So that's big, and I think that we can finally put to rest this notion that she is force sensitive. That is not the reason why they need her. It is the fact that she is a pure genetic replica of Jango Fett. That means that they can extract her DNA and continue producing the high quality first generation type clone troopers, possibly. Or maybe, maybe they'll be a little bit more enhanced. Maybe they've taken some of the genetic defects, the favorable defects of the Bad Batch, and fine tune them, refine them, and put them in Omega. And so now you've got all of the favorable factors of the Bad Batch plus the quality DNA of the original host Jango Fett, all in one clone. Like, that's a big deal. So that's definitely, and more so than Boba, because Boba is just a pure genetic replica of Jango, but she's enhanced and also has this pure DNA, so that gives her tremendous more value than Boba Fett. And Boba Fett being wherever Boba Fett is, that would also indicate to me and to the audience that I feel like he's going to make an appearance more so sooner rather than later. I was happy to see that Cad Bane did survive the episode, because I think they're going to set up that confrontation that we saw with those animatics back from Celebration a couple years ago. The confrontation, the showdown between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, I think that's going to happen. There's been a lot of people speculating that Omega is going to don the classic all white armor that Boba Fett had in the Ralph McQuarrie concept art for, what was that, Empire Strikes Back. They inevitably added color to the suit, but in the original concept art, it was just the suit, the armor, all of it was all white. It was a really cool look, and I think that that's what we'll see possibly with Omega. I could totally see that happening. I am curious though to see if they touch on the Mandalorian roots, because it is important to note that Jango Fett's, he was selected because of his fighting prowess and his ability to take down Jedi. That was one of the reasons why Count Dooku, now this might be in Legends or canon, I might be mixing things up, but at some point in the lore, Jango Fett was selected by Count Dooku personally because he witnessed Jango Fett take down like 20 Jedi single-handedly, and so his fighting skills as a Mandalorian were what inevitably led to them making that selection. So all of these clones are of that genetic makeup. All of them have that capability, being that they are clones of Jango, which is why that's all part of the plan for Palpatine in the end. But anyone who can take down the Jedi is going to be a formidable opponent. So I'm digging where this is going. I do believe though that realistically, as we wind down the rest of the season, it's possible that we'll see more connections to the Bad Batch and the the Saw Gerrera's partisans, things of that nature. I almost said Hunter. Crosshair is going to be another. He's going to be he's going to continue to be the big bad for the Bad Batch for a while. But I think that at the end of the day, the Bad Batch are soldiers, so they're going to need and want to get into the fight. And as the Rebel Alliance grows, as they become more of a threat to the Empire, I can totally see the Bad Batch aligning themselves with this group. It just makes sense. Rex has extended the offer. We know he's working with Saul in some capacity. So yeah, but getting a little to some speculation there. But yeah, back to the episode. Really good episode. I think I rank it a 7.5 on my scale of 10, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So you get to the comments. My mom says, "What's up? 7 out of 10. Omega survival skills are keen." Yes, definitely. Bad Batch is tough. We all want to be WandaVision or Loki level of misdirection, but it's created for younglings. So not everything is a misdirect wrapped in a conspiracy. You are absolutely right. And I don't need it to be either. I'm just more. My thing is, I just want it to be connected, and I want to see the connections to the other properties and the upcoming properties within Star Wars, like Andor, Kenobi to a lesser degree, but definitely Andor. Like, I want there to be some connections between this show and Andor. They don't have to be overtly in your face, but the tie-ins I feel are necessary. Just like what we're going to see with the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian being tied to the we know the Book of Boba is a direct spin-off of the Mandalorian, or maybe it's season 3 of the Mandalorian, but that's a discussion for another topic. But that connectivity is what that's what I'm really looking for. That's what I want to see. Though I can enjoy the stories and this season as I have for what it is, I definitely want to see more of those connections, and them building towards them at least. So that was cool. Definitely happy we got Cad Bane, and Ton Wee. That was a surprise, first of all, because Ton Wee, we hadn't seen. I don't think she appeared in the Clone Wars. I don't remember her popping up in the Clone Wars animated show, but the last time I remember seeing her was Kenobi on Kamino in Attack of the Clones. As a matter of fact, she was escorting him back to his ship after he met with Jango Fett and Boba. So that's to see her pop in, and then briefly just for Lama Su to hand her the case of credits, the unmarked credits for Cad Bane to deliver, and then a few shots later she's getting gunned down by Fennec Shand. I'm like, wow. Dang, man, that's how that ends. That's interesting. Cad Bane underestimated Sean, took him and me by surprise. I would agree with that. She's definitely formidable too. I think Cad Bane definitely needs to find a better droid. I don't know why he keeps going back to Toto. I thought he blew up Toto, first of all. Didn't he use Toto on when they hijacked? Well, not hijacked, when they broke into the Jedi Temple during the Clone Wars, and didn't he strap a bomb to Toto? And I thought he was blown up. Anyways, I guess he put him back out there. I don't know. Whatever, it's fine. But yeah, he's not the most useful companion, especially for a bounty hunter. But yeah, no, it was good to see them all get reunited. Definitely looking forward to the next episode, because from this point I don't know where we go. I'm assuming they'll go back to the Trandoshan to get another mission, Sid, and then from there, or maybe they'll contact Rex. I don't know what happens. I'm curious, definitely, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We shall see. It is tough though. It is interesting because you're watching the series, and then I'm watching Loki as well, and I'm also got like WandaVision. But the Loki show right now is blowing everything out the water. Like, Loki is through these first 3 episodes has been absolutely amazing. And there have been some really good episodes in the Bad Batch. Like the first episode was spectacular. Last week's episode was really good. Um, but it's a slow burn, that's for sure. But the journey is definitely enjoyable. Um, Nothing. I hadn't had an episode yet where I've been like, I don't need. That was just a waste of time. Like each episode, even if they are filler, gives you information that's useful, that is informative about what's going on in the galaxy as well as the Empire. So I can't say that's why it's enjoyable, because one, this level of detail for this time period has never been vastly explored. Um, and So I can appreciate this building up to something. And then, I don't know if you guys are into all the leaks and all, whatnot, but the episode titles for all of July have already been leaked online. So we know, spoilers, that there's an episode at the end. Maybe the rumored end is the episode 14, although I've heard 16, so I don't know how many total episodes they're going to be. I'm assuming 14. But that episode title is War Mantle, and that was mentioned in the first episode with Tarkin, and then the that admiral guy, whose name escapes me. But War Mantle was also one of the files on Iridu. No, not Iridu. Scarif in Rogue One. So connections there. Coop Daddy Yoda is extending pleasant greetings from the Force. Nice. Appreciate that. Back at you. Yeah. So I don't know, man. That was a really good episode. Like I said, I'm glad Cad Bane stuck around. They didn't kill his character. So we'll see him again, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure that, they are going to give us some more Cad Bane. And I think we're going to see Boba Fett at some point. Maybe not in this season, but definitely in this series, we're going to see Boba. I think that also it is interesting that with the more they connect Omega to Boba and how many similarities they add between those two characters, I think it just increases the chances of those two interacting at some point. I think it would be really cool to see them interact in this series, but it also opens the door for an older version of Omega to pop up in a show like the Book of Boba. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that the younger characters within, especially in the animated shows, but all of the young characters that they create for Star Wars, you can anticipate you're going to see them for years to come. The older characters, not so much. They're there to, from a story standpoint, they're there to be mentors. They're there to help guide the younger characters in their growth and development as people, as well as heroes. So they're there for the journey, but they're really the supporting cast. So it's always going to be about the youth. The shows are for the youth. So I think when they create characters like Omega, they have a grander plan for them. So that's kind of sort of what I'm looking forward to seeing more of these connections. And I do want to know more about what else they've got in the pipeline outside of the shows that they have announced. I know next week we're going to get our first look at Visions, which is that anime anthology of stories. It's going to be 10 episodes. Each episode is a short film that takes place within the Star Wars universe. So that's going to be, we didn't have gotten any more information outside of that, not officially from Disney. So I'm definitely looking forward to that sneak peek. I could probably do a reaction video if it's like a scissor reel or a trailer. As soon as it drops online, I can hop on here and react to it and talk about it as soon as it drops. Let me see. You bring up an amazing point. Cat is tough as nails. Why? Yeah. Why a little wussy droid? Do you think it's because he doesn't want a potential threat in the cockpit with him, or maybe he's not that cold? I don't know. I think I feel like he's there more so for comedic relief. Because every time we see Cad, for the most part, Toto's with him. Um, yeah, I think it's character balancing. That would be my guess. I think he's just there for comedic relief. Um, but there, he could easily have like an HK unit or an IG unit, or another formidable droid, something that is actually useful in combat. Toto is not. He's not proven to be useful in combat. Um, in each episode that we've seen him from the Clone Wars to now, he's usually been the reason why a mission is like goes array. Um, so yeah, I don't know what it is, Cat's connection with this droid, but hey, you know, at some point, I hope, maybe not before his end, but I would hope before his end we can get him a better companion to you know to go on these adventures with. But I don't think Toto is the right fit for the team, if you know what I mean. Um, yeah, let's see, 22 minutes in. Yeah. Any more questions? Anything we want to talk about? I think I've pretty much talked about everything I wanted to talk about in the episode. I think um, it really resolves what was presented in the previous episode, and now we're into the next phase of this show. Like, I think everything else has been resolved. We know the inhibitor chips have been removed. We know what Omega's value is. We know that Fennec Shand is under the employment of Lama Se, and Cad Bane is under the employment of Lama Su. So, I don't know what else. Crosshair's pretty banged up. I wonder if he'll get some cybernetics, because I'm pretty sure he's going to go back to Camino. They're going to enhance him at some point. And we also know that the Empire has literally no interest in continuing the clone program. And if the Kaminoans can't get Omega back, then it's game over. So I don't know what they're going to do. I think that's really a lot of the interest. Like, maybe we'll get back into more of the Kaminoan versus Empire stuff, because it seems everything for the Kaminoans hinges upon Omega being returned back to the Kaminoan facility, and to be the DNA to be extracted and her to be exterminated, because that is his plan. What's your theory on why the Kaminoans abandoned the base, and why the clone tube was so deformed? I have a feeling. I think the Kaminoan one was the clone in that old facility. I believe that was a Kaminoan, and it's probably one of their early facilities, one of their original facilities. I know in Legends that Plagueis had connections to the Kaminoans. He was working with the Kaminoans. The Kaminoans had at some point in time cloned an army for Plagueis. And that might be the facility that they use. Like, that might be an aspect of Legends that they're going to bring back into the fold. It's a possible connection to Plagueis. Maybe that's something that we'll see possibly in Acolyte. I think I was on the community stage with Santa this evening, and we were talking about this, and I do think that there's a possible connection we could see in a show like Acolyte to that cloning facility. Maybe they're going to showcase why it was the Kaminoans were selected. But I don't know anything about that show yet. Um, but I think they were experimenting with the cloning process in that facility, and then once they figured out what they needed, they built a new facility that was actually probably capable, or maybe that Camino, that the cloning facility on that planet was too small to handle a creating a grand army on the scale that the Republic would have needed. Like, you know, being able to clone millions of clones at the same time, that facility looks a little too small. And the installation on Camino is huge, it's massive, it's a lot bigger than that one. So I think that that's probably more or less what it is than anything else. So I think it was just too small for what they needed, especially at the time of the Clone Wars. This is what that would have been 15, almost 20 years prior, just about. Because 13, so they got 14 to 15 years. Well, when did Sifo-Dyas technically, because I know that was before, that happened before Phantom Menace, so it's 15 plus years prior, and Acolyte takes place 50 years before. If they were experimenting, if that was like their first facility, maybe a facility of that size is big enough to clone a personal army, or clone labor, maybe, I don't know, but not by the millions. Daniel says, I assume the shutdown was economic in nature. That's also a possibility. That could have also, that's a very simple explanation, for sure. But I think that, economics and expansion, probably good reasons, or there may be another one. Who knows? Cad knew of Fennec. Yeah, he did say that she was basically too low on the totem pole to take on someone like him. So she's got a reputation, that's for sure. Her name is her infamy is growing, that within the ranks of the bounty hunters, because if someone like Cad Bane knows about her, then that means she's done some pretty eyebrow raising jobs in her short past. All right, got time for like one more question, then I'm gonna get out of here. Cad Bane knew of, oh yeah, I just read that. Builder name. Yeah, no. Yeah. So yeah, I did answer that second part of the question. They were evenly matched, even knocking each other out several times. Is she that good already? Or is it getting old? Or close quarter combat just play to her advantage? I mean, it could be a bit of both. It's probably a combination of the both. One, I do think he underestimated her, and he just wasn't, I don't think he was anticipating a showdown, but that would be wild because of his age and expertise. I think it's just age, and I think he just underestimated her, and her ingenuity. I think although she is gaining a reputation, of course he hasn't looked too much into her and who she is, but I think that it is safe to say that she's built up the reputation. Could you speculate that Omega will be eventually captured and her DNA extracted? I'm assuming that's supposed to be extracted, rescued by Fett. I don't think so. I can't see her being captured. Definitely not by the Kaminoans. So it's possible that Fett somehow, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what Boba's possible connection beyond, even if, like, I know I'm speculating that they'll interact. I have no indication that they will. It's just, some of the simple indications within the show, that being her genetic brother, would, you know, that's a compelling argument for, but no one knows how to contact Boba. No one that they know at this point in time. And we don't know what Boba's state is. He and Omega are still about the same age. I'm assuming there can't be more than a year between the two. So, if they're both unaltered clones of Jango, I would imagine that they were cloned somewhere near the same time period, so the age gap can't be too severe. So although he is, well, I don't know, that's a great question, because he was on the mission in the Clone Wars with so I don't know, man. He does seem a little bit older than she is, though. So yeah, it's possible he'd be a teenager. He might be around Cal, like 13, 14, during this time period. I'm not sure, but he did seem a little older than her during the Clone Wars animated TV show. And that is the last question I will answer for today. I appreciate you all for joining. Next episode, I will be doing episode 10. That's on next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on this channel. We also will be back with the Cookout next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this show. We will wrap up our Marvel rankings of all the Marvel films. That's the MCU, that's Sony, that's Fox, and any other movie outside of those studios that I've mentioned. And then on Wednesday, we will be doing episode 4 of Loki, a review of episode 4. So definitely tune in, subscribe to the channel, and as I always say, peace, love, blessings, and may the force be with you always.